Today's shout out is for Zuldinger. Helga Skittish Seer versus Chatterfang, Xur and Sliver Hive. Seen an uptick in Chatterfang decks recently. Not sure I've seen any of the new Squirrel Generals though, shows how good Chatterfang is. Well, we've got plenty of mana there and a means of, well, doing everything we want really, getting plus counters on things. Gandalf can hopefully do some stuff for us as well. Elvish Mystic, the first spell, and that's from Chatterfang. We draw into... okay. We're skipping our first turn apparently. It just stopped on the... I know some of you must think that I do accidentally click things and then pretend that I'm not doing, but it was just stopped on the first main phase and all I've done is press Z to zoom this in. Anyway, what do we want to get rid of then? Because apparently we're not playing anything here. Let's just get rid of the branching evolution. Got plenty of 3-drops to make here, although we're a turn behind for the rest of the game. So if I combo off on turn 5 or whatever, then, well, one, it was an accident and I don't feel as bad about it now. Dire Sight for the Chatterfang deck, Surveil 2, draw 2 and lose 2. So that's a little bit like, yeah, I haven't seen this one before. It's a little bit like Read the Bones, isn't it? Right, let's... okay, it's stopped on the upkeep as opposed to the main phase now. And there we see another X spell in Clay Champions, so get down our turn 1 play on turn 2. Decanter of Endless Water gives no max hand size. Propaganda for Xur, make it difficult to swing in over there. Didn't look in Chatterfang's graveyard before actually, that is Acorn Harvest. And a land were thrown in the bin. And then we're seeing Chatterfang followed by Bonecash Overseer. So speaking of early combos, it might be that our opponent can go for a combo pretty quickly with Chatterfang. And that, along with the 3-mana Heliod, is a combo for us. So let's go for the 3 visits. Should be the Cultivate this turn. And that can just be a Hedge Maze, seeing as how we have a little bit of blue in hand. Into Hardened Scales, we could go for Cultivate into that next turn, I suppose. So yeah, keep it on top, it's good with our commander. And that means that we've got 5 mana for the turn that we want to go for Helga into a Lightning Greaves equip. Icon of Ancestry for the Sliver tribal deck. And another tap land for Xur. Might have been able to get his commander down this turn, but plays Terramorphic Expanse instead. Followed by another enchantment. We'll expect a lot of these. Ever-Watching Threshold. Whenever an opponent attacks, if they attack you or a planeswalker you control, draw. Not too likely with a Propaganda in play. A Nested Shambler. Whenever it dies, create a tapped squirrel token, or X squirrel tokens, where X is the power, I think, on this. Yeah. And then we saw Flashback on the Acorn Harvest, followed by a Chatterstorm, which does have Storm, so makes a bunch more squirrel tokens, and 10 in play at the moment, thanks to the Chatterfangs, so a well-timed board wipe on this, and gonna really struggle. Both of the creatures swing into the left against the Sliver player. Okay, so we know we're drawing into the Hardened Scales. We have to go for Cultivate first, and then it can be a Plains Intapped, and we play our Forest as the land for the turn, which can be the Hardened Scales, puts an additional plus counter on our creatures. Another artifact, a Chromatic Lantern, helps to fix the colours over here. And down to 5 cards in hand, plays his first Sliver. That is, all Slivers have reach on a 2-2. Seeing the second commander of the game, Xur the Enchanter. Seeing a decent amount of new cards here at least. A Treetop Sentries is a Squirrel Archer. When it enters you can forage, and if you do, draw a card. So got rid of some stuff from their graveyard in order to draw, and now activating the Bonecash Overseer, which allowed them to get into another land. So they've got the black mana held up for the Chatterfang, and deciding not to hold it up apparently, which is good because we're about to play our commander. Alright, so just at sorcery speed, deciding to get rid of Xur. And the 3-3 swings, there's no forest over here, I don't think. So could trade with the Sliver, which I'd be tempted to do with Chatterfang actually. Don't see that the 3-3 Reacher is going to be all that important, but maybe it will be. Decides to let it through anyway. And there we've got an island as well to make for the turn, that's good. So I don't think it's hindered us too badly that we missed a turn previously. We'll go for the Lightning Greaves first. Gives our opponent slightly fewer chances to respond to our equip. Alright, so we could play a 2-mana Walking Ballista here. I don't see that there's much point in doing that when it's a combo piece, so yeah, we'll just pass the turn here. But hopefully next turn we'll be able to start showing off what we can do with the commander. Do we go for Gandalf before we start doing the big X spells is the question. Sliver Legion, that's a nice scary one. So now have a 9/9 reach and a 4/4 reacher. Still think it was worth having this player be forced to recast the Chatterfang. Duskmantle Guildmage is whenever a card's put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere this turn, they lose 1 life, so I'll assume that that's part of a combo because it's way too slow to do anything otherwise. And Arrester's Admonition, return a creature to its owner's hand. Did that with the Sliver Legion, so debuffing the Sliver player. Did it during his main phase in order to draw a card to Addendum, I'm assuming. So we are seeing some instant plays being played at sorcery speed here, but at least there's a reason to do it with this one. A Blood Artist now, so the combo's starting to arise. A Parallel Lives down to 3 cards in hand, but is able to sacrifice as many creatures as he wants, or at least as many squirrels as he wants, into the Chatterfang for just 1 mana. So sacrifices a bunch of tokens to the Chatterfang, pointed it at the Nested Shambler. So that's a lot of Blood Artist triggers on the stack. Nested Shambler dies with its buff to power, so whatever that was will get, what is it now, 3 times as many squirrels thanks to both Chatterfang and Parallel Lives. Is that how it works? We'll soon find out. Is that 3 times? Might be 4 times. I assume these are in stacks of 10, so 30 squirrel tokens created there. But luckily our opponent has tapped out, so hopefully going to start respecting the Chatterfang player, our opponents. Wouldn't have worried about a Sliver Legion personally. Troyan Gutsy Explorer can add some mana, especially with a Lightning Greaves, so it effectively only costs 1. So thanks to drawing into that land previously, we could go for both Troyan and Gandalf here. So let's try that. Actually, we've got Helga, haven't we? So we could have done it either way, but we'll make sure to tap some mana here. So it's pretty slow setup here. We'll see if we maybe make a land for this turn, perhaps. Alright, that is Venser Shaper Savant instead. So once we've got enough mana going with the Helga, and we're able to untap consistently, then we'll be able to play and bounce Venser infinitely, which is infinite mana with Helga, but not quite there yet. At least managed to get 2+ counters on our commander though. Coat of Arms from the Sliver player. Oh, actually, Coat of Arms, that's a world effect. That affects everything at the table, including the horde of squirrels that are in play. What a terrible spell to cast. Anyway, there's a Chemist's Insight from the Zer player before we all go down. Well, Zer might not, thanks to the propaganda. Alright, Pitiless Plunderer, I dare say, is probably a combo. Oh yeah, because you've got to pay mana into the Chatterfang, so that with the Blood Artist is a combo here, and I'm not sure that... yeah, I'm not sure we would have outraced our opponent there. So Chatterfang first gets pointed at the Spinneret Sliver, and whenever he makes treasure tokens, they'll be replaced with squirrels as well. So you'll get a treasure and a squirrel, as long as your commander stays in play. So it's like I said, keeping this in play, instead of blocking that Chatterfang, just didn't do the game any good. Certainly dropping this didn't. And then the bounce onto the Sliver Legion when there's a Chatterfang in play with some combo pieces is, yeah, not the best play either. So unfortunate that our opponents have played quite terribly there. Alright, but seems as though our opponent's doing the right thing and allowing us to play it out. I think that's what you should do in a game of Commander on Magic Online. He got the win there, and he's allowing us to play for second place, which I think is the moral thing to do. He went off way quicker than the rest of us. Right, don't think we need to worry about landfall necessarily. Do we just try and ramp out with the Sporocyst? So we've got 5 mana on the creatures straight away, which means we can put 2 into X, 3 into X, 4 and 5 is what we want for the Ravenous cost. And that triggers the Gandalf, so we'll get to look at our opponent's cards and see if we can steal anything from them. Draw into a Smothering Tithe. Revealed there a Muscle Sliver and a Reliquary Tower. Then Sporocyst, we get 2 copies of it thanks to X5, so that enters, and we'll search our library for X basic lands, put them into play tapped. I'm not sure, we've actually managed to get into quite a few basics here. We might have not quite enough in the deck to make the Sporocyst as relevant as it could be. Yeah, maybe could do with some more basics then if Sporocyst is going to be this good. So rampant growth for 5 basics with this one. And then the second one comes down and we'll get rid of the rest of our basics from the deck. So like I said, maybe should go for more basics in here. But we've still ramped ahead very well there. Drawn into a Heliod the Sun-Crowned. Could maybe have put haste on one of these big creatures actually, so that we could swing in at someone. I'll just hold back because we're looking for combos anyway. Don't want the Sliver player to get salty and scoop to an attack. Not sure if he would or not. But anyway, off the Ravenous we saw an Arcane Denial, and we've drawn into the Heliod the Sun-Crowned combo. We do gain life from Helga, so whenever we do that we'll be able to put a plus counter on the Walking Ballista, and of course giving this lifelink with the Heliod the Sun-Crowned is going to work out for us as well, these two combo without the commander. Anyway, Harmonic Sliver comes down and blows up the Propaganda. Harmonic Sliver is going to be incredible against Xur, and Xur knows it, so screws us over by bouncing. So I think he has to get blocked for that. I'm amazed, doesn't his commander... Like, can't he get his commander down again and then just search for removal onto this? Anyway, went for a Muscle Sliver as well, which allowed him to destroy the Hardened Scales. So, yeah, can we at least, this train wreck of a game, can we at least show something with Helga? Draw into a Sol Ring. So, did we just do something fun like the Clay Champion? Get a lot of plus counters on stuff? I imagine next turn they play a Sliver Legion, or maybe a couple of Slivers in order to trigger this a couple of times. So they get rid of Lightning Greaves and Sol Ring maybe? Or maybe Lightning Greaves and the Clay Champion. Let's just go for Sol Ring, give them plenty of choices. And we'll just hold on to the combo that's in our hand for the sake of keeping the game a little bit interesting. Could even distract away from some of the other permanents and throw down a Smothering Tithe here. And is this on entry or is it when it is cast? It's when it enters, so the Arcane Denial might be relevant. So we'll add a bunch of white with Helga, add some green, we want double green for the Clay Champion. We've just put a single green into the Clay Champion, so that's 4 green in total. And then I think it was 5 white, so we'll put 6 white because it cares about double pips. And then why don't we just hold up Venser and the Arcane Denial. So X can be 7 on this, which triggers the Gandalf, see if we can grab anything from that. Helga will draw us and gain us a life as well. Into a Swords to Plowshares, don't mind seeing that, although we'll need the treasure token from the Smothering Tithe. Oh, and our opponent draws a card to the Gandalf, so that will get us the treasure that we want. Revealed a Venom Sliver to us. Dare say our opponent's creatures are going to be big enough to not need Death Touch anyway. So the first Clay Champion enters, and I forgot to remove Shroud from the commander actually. So let's just go for a buff onto Gandalf and onto this Mana Dork. But that enters with 6 plus counters on it, and then 3 plus counters on each of here, so Helga would be tapping for more mana there next turn, but we're looking for a very easy combo soon anyway. So we'll swing in with the Gandalf, I dare say they'll allow it through here. So plenty of interaction to hold up here, need to remember that the Venser is available to us as well. But we want to, like I said before, play the Venser. It can bounce itself back to the hand and untap the Helga. That's if we have something like the enchantment Intruder Alarm in the deck. Alright, so in response to Sliver Hive Lord, holding up Swords to Plowshares on that is probably going to be a good idea. Although, I don't mind exiling the Harmonic Sliver permanently here, so we'll do that. And then let's counter the Sliver Hive Lord so that we can draw a card here. Our opponent will draw 2. Don't think I covered it actually. We got the copy from this, the copy of this with Gandalf. And because we obviously don't put mana into X on the copy, it didn't enter with any plus counters, meaning that we didn't get to distribute any more. And yeah, par for the course, our opponent falls at the first sign of interaction and adversity. We were drawing into, yeah, some more X spells, so it would have been Gadwick the Wizened to the Arcane Denial, and then Lifeblood Hydra would have been a really nice one, because we could have refilled our hand quite well there. So this is the wonderful world of Magic Online. We all end up playing for second place, but no one has the patience to stick it out long enough for a real game with any actual interaction, unfortunately. I'll put this out regardless if it's a commander that I end up struggling to get games with. I dare say my opponents would have scooped to the combo that we were about to go off with anyway. If you want to see more from Helga, then be sure to let me know, and I'll probably release it the following week, seeing as how this isn't a real game. but I'm thinking I'll have to throw this one out just to try and gauge the popularity of Helga, because I have no idea what you lot actually like watching. Some videos surprise me in their popularity. Anyway, let me know as ever. Big thank you to the patrons for their support of the channel as well. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.